Hi there, this is Richard Burkhart, the Web Optimist, and recently I walked into my local AT&T wireless store with the idea of upgrading my cell phone. It was 3 years old and in dire need of an upgrade. The battery was getting out and so forth. I fully intended to get a Windows Mobile phone. There are a number of things that I really like about the Windows Mobile phone, but like many others, I'm sure, I started playing with the iPhone in the store and walked out with one. Actually walked out with two, one for me and one for my partner. And I have to say, it's fantastic. It's the most wonderful, combination phone, video viewer, music machine, internet appliance, whiz-bang sci-fi thing you can imagine. I mean, when I was a kid, growing up watching Star Trek, this is the kind of thing they had. This is the kind of thing I just imagined having as a kid. And it's wonderful. I love it. But the one thing I want to point out, well, not one, but there's several things I want to point out to people who are looking at an iPhone as opposed to a Windows Mobile phone. Rather than go through all the wonderful attributes of this amazing machine, I just want to point out some things that you might want to be aware of before you plunk down the $399 for this. There's no way I would have paid $599. Apple definitely got me when they lowered the price. It's the same price as what I was going to pay for the Windows Mobile phone. So here are a few things to look at before you plunk down for this. They may change your mind, they may not. Like I said, I love this. It's wonderful. But sometimes I wish I had a reason to also have a Windows Mobile phone. The first thing is, when you get the iPhone, it comes in this wonderful little box. I mean, they spared no expense on the packaging. Inside this box, you'll find a cleaning cloth for the screen. Keep it handy. You will definitely need it. The screen on this baby is always going to be a mess, absolute mess. I mean, that's if you're going to do everything on screen, that's just what's going to happen. It's always going to be messy with your oily fingers and so forth. The second thing to consider is that a lot of Windows Mobile devices will have slide-out keypads. Okay, that's much preferable to what comes with this. I don't know if you can see this or not, on the iPhone, in Safari, the web browser, you can use the keypad in the horizontal orientation, which helps a lot. A slide-out keyboard would be preferable, but this helps a lot because it makes it wider and you can actually type a little on it without making too many mistakes. The problem is, in all of the other apps, the keypad only works in vertical mode. Okay, you can't turn it sideways and make it go wide, and that's a problem. I have very small fingers, and I am constantly hitting the wrong keys. It's just very frustrating, and it's a mess. Another thing you might want to consider is, with the iPhone, you can't do voice over IP like Skype. According to the forums, there's not going to be a Skype client anytime soon, and there's just no way to take advantage of voice over IP that I know of that's easy and makes any sense. There's a couple of workarounds you can do, but they just aren't worth considering as far as I'm concerned. The internet access on this is very slow. AT&T and Apple opted to go with the Edge network, which is like dial-up slow. At times it's not good. They should have gone with a 3G. Don't understand why they didn't give you that option, but they didn't. Maybe in the next one. And due to the fact that they use the slower internet connection, there's this neat little iTunes button on here that takes you right to iTunes. You can't use it with the AT&T Apple Internet, with the Edge network. you've got to be connected to a Wi-Fi connection to get this to work, to go to iTunes and buy stuff. The Edge network, I guess, is just too slow. So that's kind of dumb. That's really kind of dumb. Come on. You want us to go to iTunes to buy stuff? Give us a way to do it without having to go get connected to a Wi-Fi access point somewhere. You can forget about custom ringtones. The only way to get custom ringtones on this baby is if you buy a song from Apple iTunes, and then you pay them again to turn a section of it into a custom ringtone. It really miffs me because I have a certain ringtone I've used for years and I love it. It's the theme from Airwolf. That's one of my favorite shows. I can't do it on this. I can go buy a copy of a bad version of the theme from Airwolf from iTunes, but I can't use the original from the TV show, which is one of the most fantastic TV show themes I've ever heard. But at any rate, you can't do custom ringtones. Apple has discovered the holes in their system and the workarounds that you could do when it first came out to use your own ringtones won't work anymore. At least not yet. At least not until somebody cracks the code. You can't share a web connection with a laptop with an iPhone, as far as I know. I've seen no way you could do that. Plus, if you're stuck with the Edge network, you probably don't want to anyway. The audio connection up here requires a certain kind of adapter if you want to plug it in, say, your car stereo system. The standard one that works with my iPod won't work because there's a lip around this that the thing has to fit into. And no manual. This baby comes with a little sheet of paper that says, fingertips. It shows you a few things about, working the fingers and the keypad and so forth. They should have had a manual of some kind on a mini CD in a PDF format or something. If you really want a manual to discover a lot of really neat, undocumented features of the iPhone, try iPhone, The Missing Manual by David Pogue. You can buy it on Amazon or in the stores. Don't get me wrong, I love my iPhone, but like I said, there are times I really, really wish I had a way or a reason to have a Windows Mobile and an iPhone. So, hope this was helpful to you. Take these into consideration before you buy the iPhone. As I said, it's the most whiz-bang, sci-fi, techno-geek product out there right now, and it's really darn good for a first attempt. But it does have its limitations. Again, this is Richard Burkhart, the Web Optimist, and this has been my review of the iPhone. Thanks.